Yo, what's going on, everybody? UltimatDjz here from the Teaching Trek YouTube video with another video for you today. After a lot of testing, this is a Teaching Trek special news bulletin, breaking news and special report. Guys, let's dive into the game here real quick. And what we're here to talk to you about today is the alleged plasma attacks, all right? I've been doing a ton of research, an absolute ton, with my friends Galvanox and Mateo. Shout out to both of those guys who have been kind of my Starbase team as we've been working on it. As a matter of fact, you can see I've been a bookworm. I've got all the knowledge on my head. I've been trying to soak it in through osmosis. I got my nerd glasses on. See this tape on it? You see it right here? The tape. We've been doing a ton of math, and we've been trying to talk about what is going on with the plasma and how to mine it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to teach you straight through this little bit of the part of this loop here, right here. And it all begins right here with the plasma processor. Now, the first thing that we're going to point out is this section over here of this game, of the game UI, is very reminiscent of that of like a warehouse. For example, the collisional plasma capacity showing 240,000. Here in level 1, if we go up to the next level, it's 576,000. And this is reminiscent of a warehouse type building that we're used to in the game. But it actually acts a little bit differently. When we're talking about plasma mining, we've had a lot of people say, well, the node is 0, and how do we know how much is left on the node? And what if we join a partial node? And when does it go 0? And while some of that mechanic does hold true, some of it is actually also very different. Now, the first thing that I will agree and point out is absolutely we are definitely needing some type of countdown, some type of progress bar on these plasma storms, these plasma nodes, but it's not exactly the same as what people would traditionally expect with a mining node because it's going to be different for every single alliance. Well, that sounds weird. What are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about right here. If you guys go into StarTrekFleetCommand.com, you're going to see and remember that we were talking about this little bit of an article on the Alliance starbases on the Star Trek Fleet Command website. But I'm going to bring you into a line that even I overlooked, and shout out Mateo and Galvanox for kind of cluing me in on this. Take a look at the top of your screen. The Alliance starbase can only collect a fixed amount of plasma determined by the plasma processor from a plasma storm before it will need to be relocated. Basically meaning that every alliance, and depending on the level of your starbase, will have a different size node. Like the same node exists, but how much can you get from it is going to vary based on your ability and your progression in the Alliance Starbase tree. So let's go back over to the game and take a quick peek at what I'm talking about. Collisional plasma capacity. So my Alliance right now has our Alliance Starbase plasma processor at level 1, meaning that if I go and sit on any node, it's going to feed me 240,000 before I need to relocate the base. All right, that's it. That's how much I get. Can I sit on a partial node? No, because when I go to a new node, when I go to any node, when I relocate to any node, I am going to start at 240,000. If I'm at level 1, if I've got this thing at level 2, it's going to go to 576,000. Now, this does demonstrate the need for Skillplay to give us some type of progress bar. Even if it's right here in the Alliance Starbase display, having some kind of a bar progression. Maybe it's out here when we're actually looking at the node itself. Maybe right here it tells us how much is left. I don't know, but somewhere there does need to be a display of either how much time or how much material is left when we are talking about what it is that we can actually harvest from this plasma cloud. But that being said, that does determine it. Is there such a thing as a 0 node? Yes. But as soon as I move off of it, just like a normal node, it'll reset. But there are no partials. Any alliance who relocates to an available node will begin fresh at 240,000. Now, DJ, that has nothing to do with plasma tax. Why are you talking to us about this? Well, it doesn't have anything to do with the plasma tax, but it does have something to do with how this thing is working. Just as a quick side note, we have tested between as far as moving between nodes in a system, and it will harvest. If I zeroed this node and moved to this node, it'll work. There's nothing that says that you have to move outside the system or anything like that. You just have to go. But there is a second component to actually making sure that you can mine this plasma, and that is right over here. That is in this harvester. Now, eventually you'll be able to build extras. You'll also be able to build other types of harvesters for the magnetic plasma, but right now we're all looking at collisional plasma. And what is happening here is that we also have this same type of mechanic, which is probably also most similar to a generator in our base. As a matter of fact, right here, we've got the plasma harvesting, this 10K. This is a rate, call it a mining rate, if you will, 10,000 per hour at level 1. When I take it to level 2, it'll go to 12,000 per hour. And just like in your base, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure one of mine are actually running right now. Let's take a look. I think my dilithium generators are running. Thank you for the pop-up. Here we go. All right. Now, I don't have anything that is actively going into my warehouse. As a matter of fact, these generators are running. They can hold a certain amount until I claim them. When it fills up, it'll start flashing green at me. But in the meantime, I can click it at any time. When I click it, it moves it from the generator into the warehouse. Okay. And the same type of mechanic exist here with these harvesters, moving it from the harvester and moving it to my inventory, which is up here. All right. The thing is, there is no warehouse, so to speak, because the nodes are being controlled. The node size is being controlled by the plasma processor. So in lieu of a warehouse, all right, basically, you have unlimited storage capacity of the plasma. Now, we do know that there are vaults, okay? For example, if I come... Oops, wrong button. When I come into STFC.space and come in here, we can see that there are such things as vaults within the starbase, all right? But they don't have anything to do with the amount that we can hold, all right? Just protection, which is giving us a clue as to some capability of these starbases in the future. But right now, we just have vaults and harvesters and vaults. There is nothing here that indicates that there's a warehouse mechanic, meaning that you can hold an infinite amount of this collisional and magnetic plasma. There's nothing that's capping you from that. So what is capping you, or what is controlling your pace, is the harvester itself. So let's take a look back at the harvester mechanic. We got our mining rate, 10,000 an hour. And we also know that it can hold up to 60,000 before it'll shut off. 60,000 is the cap for this harvester before we have to claim it for it to continue to operate. Just like we saw with the dilithium generators, they will stop. They'll fill up, and then you have to click them to claim them to move them into your warehouse. In our case, our warehouse is unlimited, but I do have to click this or it will stop at 60,000. If we've got a mining rate of 10,000, that's 6 hours, and there's currently no research in the game that'll make that faster. So this is straight up where you're at. When you do take it to level 2, you're going to move to 12,000 an hour, and the size goes to 72, still holding at 6 hours. All right. If you claim this, then you start your 6 hours over again. All right. Really simple, right? I can come back 3 hours later, click it, and it'll start my 6 hours over again because I've got 6 hours worth of capacity. All right. So that is how this harvester is working. Now, let's talk about some of the... Now, we'll get to it. Here's the plasma tax. This is what everybody's been talking about. All right. Let's take a look here. I'm going to show you a couple of examples in a window. Okay. I'm going to pull this up. And this is, for example, a screenshot that I took out of my Alliance Starbase here just the other day. And really what I'm wanting to point out is the fact that I've got 311.3 thousand up here. You can see I had just done a claim shortly before that, but follow the before and after, 311,000. All right. So then I click it, and this is what you guys are talking about. This is what you're sending to me. The harvester looks like it gave me 5,273, but I only went up to 314,000. That would look to be roughly 2,700. I had 311.3. So now I'm at 314. It's 2,700. Well, plasma tax. That's right. They're taking it from me, right? Well, what would you say if I told you that this was really actually just a bug? It's a bug in the harvester display. And here's how we kind of figure this out, guys. We come back to the game and we talk about the harvester in and of itself having an actual mining rate that's not impacted by anything else. If you guys set a timer on this thing and you come back 1 hour precisely later, you should have 10,000. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is a test that we ran. Here, let me show you this screenshot right here. Again, using my Alliance Starbase a little bit later. I did a claim. You can see there's absolutely nothing there. I did a claim, started my clock over 401,000. I set a timer, and I came back exactly 60 minutes later, and here is that screenshot. Now, as you can see, I probably missed it by a minute or so, 61 minutes, maybe 62 minutes, but you can see it showed me I got 20,400, but I only went up to 411, okay? And remember, the number before was 401. You could rewind the video for a few seconds and see. So what's happening is this plasma tax is actually not a tax at all. You are, in fact, getting the amount of plasma that you're supposed to be getting. The game is functioning correctly. But as are so many other things in this game, we're actually seeing the result of a display bug right here in which the harvesters are actually displaying at 2x the value that they're supposed to be. Obviously, this is a glitch. It's already been written up and sent up to Scopely, and they're investigating to see what we could do about a fix. At the same time, also asking to put up some kind of a progress bar. But nonetheless, you can see what's going into the warehouse is the proper amount for the time that I spent on that node. But that begs other questions, right? Like that might beg another question. Well, what happens when it gets full? What happens when it gets green and blinky, right? Because if it's moving 2x the speed that it's supposed to be, then that means in 3 hours, it would show 60,000, right? And 60,000 is the capacity. So it would show full and it would be green and blinky. So does the actual harvester stop collecting at that particular point? Well, let's run another test. Yay. As a matter of fact, I use this same opportunity, this sequence of events to start again. So right here was where I did the claim. I got 411,000. Here is a screenshot where I waited 3.5 hours. 3.5. Now, why 3.5? Well, in 3 hours, this thing became green and full and blinky. And it would seem that you would want to click it. And if you did click it, you would expect 60,000, but only get 30,000. Except that's not how it's working. There is a display bug, but again, the harvester working properly on the back-end measurements and the back-end calculations. So here's what we did. 411,000. I waited till it got full, and I set a clock, all right? 3 hours, by the way, is exactly the amount of time it took to get full. But I decided to wait an extra 30 minutes. An extra 30 minutes before I claimed this. I told my team, don't be tempted to hit the button. Just wait. We're going to wait it out 30 more minutes because what would happen, right? We wanted to see if it's going to continue to harvest during this time. If it doesn't continue to harvest, when I click it, I'm only going to get 30,000 or, well, it's certainly not going to be 60,000. It had only been 3 hours. So I'm either going to get 30,000, meaning that when it's green and blinky, it's not going to continue harvesting. Or if it did continue harvesting, then 30 minutes later, I should have another 5,000 loot. So if I time this thing for 3 hours and 30 minutes, which is exactly what I did, and then I click on the node, again, it's showing me 60,000 because I'm full, right? Or at least it's showing me that we're full. So it's showing 60,000, but I got 35. And actually, it looks like I might have been a minute or two late because it's showing 36, but rounding. All right. So 35 is what I got, which proves that the harvester was still collecting in the background, even though it was green and blinky, which again proves that this is just a graphical display error. You do have 6 hours. That is a fact. You do have a mining rate of whatever your harvester says it is. In my case, it's 10,000 an hour. And you can go 6 hours before the generator, before the harvester stops working. And you have to click that to put it in, and that will start your 6 hours over again. This is the result of the investigation into the plasma tax. Are you losing anything? No. But this node will actually make you think you're mining faster than you are. In fact, this display is bugged. It's showing 2 times faster than what it should be, and when it gets green and blinky, it will stay at 60,000, which is also why we had so much trouble nailing this thing down. Some people have said, well, I collected 60, but I got 45, or I got 42, or I got 37, or I got 55, or I got 51. That is the reason, because you've gone over the 3 hour mark, so that's why it's showing green and blinky. It's showing you 60,000, but you have gone less than 6 hours, which means your true mining rate was actually accumulating in the background. This is the solution on the plasma tax. So what do you do about it? Nothing. Set your own timers, set your own crew to kind of manage, create a Discord room or a channel or a PM where you can just kind of coordinate timers and work together. Really truthfully, on the nodes, Probably should reset that about once every 24 hours. Tonight, I sent my admiral a note, said, hey, listen, at 11:55 p.m. Eastern time, I moved nodes. So if we stay perfect, then in 24 hours, we have to move. Since there's no such thing as a partial node, tomorrow night, I'm going to move it again. That's what you should do. Every 24 hours, just move it. Because again, you're mining at 10,000 an hour, and your plasma processor currently is only giving you a node, at level 1 anyway, of 240,000. Now, for some of you who have higher nodes, you're going to have to do other types of calculation, because especially once this number gets north of 1 million, it's going to be really, really hard to track. You're going to have to do it with timers until Scopely gets us a progress bar on the node and until this graphical bug gets fixed. And that is your mystery solved on the plasma tax. Community, are you impressed with my nerd math? Leave your questions and your comments in the section below the video. Please subscribe while you're here. We are pushing and getting ever closer to 10,000 subs, and when we do, we're giving you $1,000 in cash. But in the meantime, please share this with your team, especially those who are really confused about the plasma tax and why we're not getting what we're supposed to be getting. And indeed, you actually are. It's this that's bugged, just like the display for La'an's cargo and ship power and mining speed and this and that and this and that. Bugs. Scopely, come on, guys. You could do better. Please share with your team. Subscribe. Click the bell. Give us a like you like. And we'll catch you on the next one. My name is UltimatDjz, your friendly neighborhood cat person. Sam me out for now. Love you. To catch you. Oh, by the way, you know what? While I'm over here doing the nerd math on the Alliance Starbase, Rev Deuce has breaking news for you on espionage. Ooh, you should go check that out. Like, you guys have been wanting hints, right? You've been wanting to know what to do with it. You've been wanting to know what to do with your trophies and your claims and all this. Well, Rev Deuce has information in a video that should be out right now. Go check it out. Shout out, Revs. Love you, boo. Catch you on the next one, guys. Bye. My name is UltimatDjz. Goodbye. See you. Longest close ever. Oh, God.